Cheetah Mama. So as promised, this is another episode of Spill My Tea. Y'all know I love to drink tea every single night actually. And yeah, on Tuesdays we're gonna talk about my tea. I'm gonna spill my tea. So in the last video that I talked about, part of this series is that I had an ex-husband at the time, an ex-boyfriend, sorry, and he cheated on me and I found out about it. So now we're going to talk about the abuse that happened after we decided to keep moving forward. So I ended up moving in with him and his parents. He was still my boyfriend at the time. I remember always like just feeling on edge about everything. Like every time like I saw his phone ringing or a text message coming in or anything, like I just did not trust him. Like if his friends were like, oh, let's go hang out, like I just did not trust him anymore. So like from then on, like I was so scared that I would get cheated on again. Like I just stayed with him like all day every day, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like there was no downtime like with us. Like our relationship was a full-blown 24/7 commitment. Like I moved in with him and his family, and at first, like, I would keep bringing it up because I just could not live with the fact that he cheated on me. I just couldn't believe it because he was such an innocent person to me. Like, I was like, he would never do anything. Like, I've never even thought that I would have to even question anything as far as cheating was concerned. So, I kept bringing it up. Like, you know, sometimes I would just like, oh, like, but why did you do it? Like, I just would just lose my mind and lose my head and zone back out of it, and I just could not deal. You know, I'm like, but why would you do it? And you know, like this that and this, you know. And it was just crazy because like he like he at first would just be really upset. I'm like, stop fucking talking about it. And see, I was really young too, you know, it was maybe 17, 18, I don't know, I was really young. And so he's like, stop fucking talking about it. And I was just kind of like, but I can't let it go. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't like just let it go and act like it never happened, because it did happen and it hurt me. And now I feel like I'm not good enough, you know? So there was one instance where we were at a park. This could have been the first time that he actually started putting his hands on me. We're at a park and I just kind of got back into it. You know, I was like, oh my God, like, I just can't believe you cheated on me. Like, I'm just, like, I'm trying to get over it, but I can't, you know. And I remember, like, I kind of just walked away from the car. I just kind of, like, was slowly walking. Like, I just needed a second. And he came over there and he grabbed me. Like, he grabbed my arm and was like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop doing it. And I guess, like, when he first initially did that, like, growing up, like I was used to kind of like that type of being yelled at, and it like shut me up, you know, and I stopped. So I think that maybe he associated that with like, oh, you know, like if I yell at her and grab her and scream at her, she's gonna stop talking about the cheating, you know. And so that was like the first instance, you know, and I shut up and I was quiet about it. Then I know like another time we're in the car and we're driving, you know, and I just remember like it came back up some type of way. I don't know what happened. I think he had like homegirls calling and texting him, and I just didn't trust it anymore. Like he said that he had sex with all of his homegirls. Like there was nobody that he did not have sex with that was a friend of his. And I was like, you know, so I didn't trust that either. Like, well, damn, like every homegirl you had sex with, like, you know, like it put me in a weird situation. So I remember we were driving and it kind of came up again some type of way. And I remember like it just got bad. Like he was driving on the freeway and like I was just like going crazy and I wanted to jump out the car. I just wanted to get away from him so bad. And he kept grabbing me and making me sit, you know what I mean? And it was like, I remember like I was trying to initially leave the car, I think before we were driving or something, and I remember like he sped up, he got on the freeway to where I just wasn't gonna walk away, because at that time I had to walk away from things like that. I couldn't just sit there and like let them like and be hurt, you know. I had to walk away and be sad in silence, you know. And I remember like He's really more remorseful for what he did, for sure. But I think like after some time, it just became worse and worse. Like it'd be like I'd be at his mom's house, and if anything came up, it could just be like, I don't know, it was like little stuff. You know, we fought about everything. Like nothing was like okay. Like it was like after that whole cheating thing happened, like we just fought all the time. Like we were just constantly arguing about any little thing. Like sometimes it wasn't even about cheating, we were arguing, you know, and our arguments became confrontational. Like there was, you know, times where I'm pushing him, he's pushing me, you know, he's throwing me, he's choking me, like, you know, like, and he was yelling at me, screaming at me, and things of that nature. It was like it became a really toxic relationship from there on, which is why I always say that if someone does cheat on you, like I wouldn't recommend dealing with it at all. You know what I mean? Because you deserve so much. You know what I mean? The relationship escalated, like the abuse escalated. You know, it went from, you know, like me being grabbed here and there to him putting his hands around my throat and yelling at me and telling me to shut the fuck up, you know. And I remember his mom came up to me, my mother-in-law from hell at the time, and I remember she was like, is he putting his hands on you or whatever? And I was like, oh no, you know. She's like, because I don't allow that or something, she told me. And I was just like, I just didn't want to tell her the truth, you know. So I don't think that she ever knew that her son was putting her hands on me, but like she would care when she did all that shit to me anyways. So the abuse really escalated. Like I used to keep children sometimes, and I remember like we were just yelling at each other and things like that. The kids were never in the same room as us, you know what I mean, when I kept kids, but it was like it was a lot of abuse, you know. It became emotional abuse and it was physical abuse. We were pushing each other, hitting each other, and I can't say he was the only one putting his hands on me. Like I think that I snapped a little bit and I decided to fight back because in the child in the household that I was raised in, there was, you know, some type of form of abuse. And I remember just kind of like letting it go and being like, oh, whatever, you know, and like just kind of keeping it balled in. And so when I got with him, I was like, I'm not going to let this happen to me. Like, I'm not going to just sit here and let someone just do whatever they want to me. You know, I was like, I'm going to freaking like say something. So I think the last thing that happened with the whole abuse thing between me and him was I ended up having my daughter, and we were in the car because we were exchanging her, but she was knocked out. And I think that he wanted to have sex with me. You know, he's like, I know that, you know, we aren't together anymore because I ended up marrying him, by the way, done. He's like, oh, I know we're not together anymore, but we can still have sex. And I was like, okay. You know, I used to be okay with having sex with my ex-husband, as long as I was single and didn't have anyone, until I realized, like, I'm not gonna do that shit no more. Like, what the fuck? So, we were thinking about having sex, and I think that I decided to put my foot down. I was like, I'm not having sex with you anymore. I'm done. Like I'm really done. Like there's no way. I can't keep doing this to myself. Like, you know, like I'm just a toxic ball of energy and it's hurting me, it's hurting you. Like it's not okay, you know, and this is dysfunction, you know what I mean? And he got mad, you know, he got mad and he screamed at me, and I was like, you're gonna not talk to me like that or I'm getting out the car. And he screamed at me and he yelled at me and he grabbed me, and oh god, we did bad parenting choices. If I say this, please don't fucking judge me, but I was so young. My daughter was in my car. We had the AC running, but I had like a click start thing or something at the time, so it was like to where she was in there asleep. So we are gonna have sex in his car, and then I was gonna get out and then go to her back in my car and then go home. But when he got mad at me for saying no and put his hands on me and yelled at me, and he ended up biting the fuck out of my hand, you know, like I was just so done. I was so fed up. I was like, you know what? Like, why would you bite me? Like, I just felt like that was just so demeaning to me. So I ran. I ran out of the car where he was, and I ran in my car, and I locked my doors with my baby in there, and I drove off. I drove off, and he started chasing after me down the freeway. And I remember, like, I just left, and I was like, I'm gonna go home, my mom's house. But then I was like, fuck, I can't go there because he knows where I'm going. You know what I mean? He's gonna go to my mom's house and wait for me to get there. And I just didn't want to talk to him anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this dysfunction anymore. And I remember, like, he was chasing me down the freeway, and I happened to get away, thank God. And I remember he called me like 30 times, and then he called my mom, he called my sister, he called everyone. And my sister was like, you need to call your husband, like, he is blowing up my phone, like, why is he calling me, you know? And I think that that was the last time. That was the last time I thought about having sex with him. That was the last time that I even, like, gave him time of the day to treat me any old way. And the reason why I say this is I feel like these stories can maybe help you guys. Like, you know, like, if you're going through dysfunction, you know, find a way to leave. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell them, okay? Don't tell them. Like, act like it's a normal ass day. Start packing your shit when they're gone, like, and be gone before they come back. Like, you know, domestic violence is crazy, you know. And I can't say that, oh, it was just all him, because I think after a while, with him doing it to me so much, I was so crazy that I thought it was okay to do it back too, you know. So dysfunction is definitely not okay. And I hope that you guys seek help. And if you need help, I have my email down listed below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I love you guys. You guys have a wonderful day.